Hey everyone, thanks for clicking onto the video. Before we start things, I just want to say that we are currently on the road to 500 subscribers. So, in celebration of that, I'm going to be doing a free giveaway of one copy of WWE Battlegrounds on a console of your choice, whether it be a PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch or Xbox One. And all you have to do to enter it is simply click that subscribe button, tap the bell icon, and once we hit that magic number of 500 subscribers, I'll be doing the video to announce the winner. So, thanks for listening and please enjoy the video. Hello, welcome to that 90s Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host James Tunstall, and today's special guest, well, what can I say? He'll definitely give John Morrison a run for his money when it comes to nicknames. We'll try and list them off. He is the beautiful beast, the Iron Lion, the unique physique, Gingerlicious, Sweet Daddy, Mr. Juicy himself, Luscious Lawrence. How you doing, Lawrence?
Oh man, I'm doing great. You got all of them too. You missed maybe a couple. There's a couple new ones and a couple old ones, but that's good enough. We'll let that slide.
I also forgot to mention by way of Thunder Island.
That's right.
But yeah, so where did all these nicknames? Well, because it's always good to have a moniker, but you got quite a few monikers, so did it just like pop in your head one day? It was like, yeah, I like the idea of that, or how did it come about?
I don't know, man. Just some of the stuff I do is just kind of like to entertain myself and pop myself. So if I can make myself laugh, that's always a good thing. So, but I don't know. Some of them came from like when I first started, I was just writing down all my names. And when I started at School of Morton with Ricky Morton and one of the trainers there, he said, you got to get a name and get ready. So some of those were on that list. And then some of them just kind of happened just kind of organically. And, it's just funny stuff to pop myself, make myself laugh.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the gimmick later on, but I suppose the first thing I'll ask everyone else this. But your childhood, I've listened to some interviews you've done previously, and you was an army brat. But how did it discovering wrestling? I think you mentioned it was your godfather. Was that right?
Yeah, my godfather, Ski, man. He passed away now. Yeah, I was an army brat. I was living in Germany over by your way, across the pond there.
Oh, wow.
And that's where I met him. And then, he known me my whole life, and he kind of helped raise me a little bit. And he's the one that really got me into wrestling, watching old tapes and like WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 5. And he used to get all the like WCW pay-per-views back in the day, so he was a big influence on that part, man. I love him. I think about him all the time right before I go out into the ring. So, but yeah, he's the one that introduced me into wrestling, man.
Yeah. Did he have chance to, before he sadly passed away, did he have chance to see you in the ring? See you?
He didn't get a chance to come to a show, which is one of the things I kind of regret. But he did get to, he got to see videos, and he knew I was doing it, and he was proud. He was really proud. And I remember one time on Fort Campbell, he took me to a match, and we got to see the Patriot and a couple other name guys, and that was pretty cool. And I remember his son Bernie Jr., because his real name is Bernard, so we call him Bernie. I used to always steal his you remember the Hulk Hogan, the stiff one that didn't move, the action figure, the real rubber, the big one. So I used to always try to steal that one, or the Junkyard Dog, so they had to like check me and pat me down before I leave the house, make sure I didn't steal his son's toys. So it was fun though. Yeah.
Cool. And like I said, I've listened to some interviews you've done before, and you've always been like in athletics, like growing up doing sports and stuff. So obviously you grew up a fan of wrestling. So what made you decide to make that jump to actually find a school and start training?
Well, I mean, high school and middle school, I always played sports. I didn't wrestle on the wrestling team. That's one thing I regret also. But I don't know, man. I kind of started a little late. I didn't start till I was 30. So, because I'm 34 now. But it was a period where I stopped watching wrestling, kind of, I guess you could call it like the ruthless aggression era. I was still watching, but I wasn't like just crazy fanatic like I was and like I am now. But and I think I just started watching it again and just got hooked again. And I was like, you know what, man, I need to go for it, you know. And I was already in the gym working out, and I was working at LA Fitness and working out with personal trainers and getting some size on. So I was like, you know, this man, and I just went for it, you know. And then that was in Georgia. Then I moved to Knoxville, and that's when I found Ricky Morton School of Morton. So that's where I started at.
Cool. And Ricky Morton, one of the all-time greats. What's like training underneath his tree? I would imagine these.
Rock and roll, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, he's legendary. I've got a podcasting friend who's got his own podcast, and he recently interviewed Ricky, and so entertaining. But yeah, what's it like training underneath the great man himself? I bet he puts you through your paces.
Oh man, I mean, Ricky's great, man. Like you said, just you know, a living legend walking around, just living that legend life. But he was awesome, man. One thing I can say about Ricky is he's got so much knowledge and so many stories, and he knows every situation. And but he's also very positive. You know, some trainers can be kind of, you know, rough around the edges, kind of like that tough love, and you know, be kind of hard on you. But Ricky was always, at least with me, he was always very, you know, inspirational. He gave me encouragement. You know, he would always, you know, tell me little things on the side and try to make me, you know, make me feel good and real positive energy, man. That's, you know, he's a baby face, so he's always baby facing everybody. But he was very positive energy, man. He's, you know, just make you believe in yourself. That was the ultimate thing. He's like, you know, if you believe, then you can make anybody believe. So you got to believe in yourself first. So, but he did it in a very positive, uplifting way. So that's one thing I can say about Ricky, man. Every Tuesday night for about a year, man. And Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Sunday is the show, and they still have shows on Sunday. Well, they might be closed down because of Corona, but yeah, he was just, you know, driving up there, man. It was a good time, very good experience at School of Morton. I love Ricky. Rock and roll, baby.
And you mentioned like there's plenty of stories with him. I can imagine like during your time training underneath him, there must be at least one fun Ricky Morton story, you know, or you've heard around him. So can you tell us one?
He's got a lot of dirty jokes. I don't know about now. I'm just playing. Let me see. Well, I mean, one story that I could say that was pretty mind blowing to me, and it was, I would say maybe sick. It wasn't even a year into my training, and it was me and another guy named Maverick from School of Morton, and we got the tag team against the Rock and Roll Express in front of like more than 1,000 people, and this was in Virginia, and Sting was there, and Teddy Long, and just all these names, Farouk, and we were like the first match, and you know, they said we tore the house down, man. So that was like, I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about it. So it was really, really cool, man. That's probably my best Ricky Morton story. And, you know, he was just having fun with us in the ring. And, you know, he believed in us enough to have us booked on that show. So that was amazing, man. That was like one of the best experiences of my life. So
awesome.
That was really cool.
Awesome. And eventually you made your way towards OVW. So how did that come about?
Wow. So OVW, that was they had their first combine, which the second one just passed, but I was part of the first group. So I heard about the combine through some friends. Actually, one of the refs at OVW, his name's Dave Harmon, and I'm real cool with him. And then the Tate twins, I forgot about them, man. They actually kind of, they're the ones that told me about School of Morton through a mutual friend that we both had. So if it wasn't for them, I probably even wouldn't be wrestling. But I got a shout out to them too, the Tate twins from ROH, the boys. So, but yeah, Dave Harmon, he told me about the combine. So he's like, you got to do it, man. And I wanted to do it anyway, you know, be around him, and because we're real close and real tight. So I did it, and I got chosen. It was like 15 people chosen for a scholarship, 2-year scholarship, 2-year program. that's actually accredited by the state. You know,
Wow.
we're actually going to get a degree at the end of this in professional wrestling, which is like unbelievable, I guess. But it's things that come along with it, like personal training, and you learned TV production, script writing, and it's a lot of stuff that comes with it. So it's really amazing opportunity and amazing experience. So Al Snow, he's the one that set that all up, man. So yeah, so I did the combine, and I was in the top five. So it was a pretty good experience, man.
Cool. And you mentioned the great man himself, Al Snow. So what's it like being around him? I mean, we've said a minute ago, like Ricky was such a bastion of knowledge himself, but Al Snow, when it comes to knowledge, he's like second to none himself. So what's it like being around him? He's just every time I listen to an interview about him or watch him, he's just so intelligent. So what's it like being around him, like him being your new mentor, I suppose?
Yeah, he's definitely he's definitely like a father figure for all of us, man. But we all look up to him, and like you said, just so much knowledge. Ricky Morton, how many years? I don't know, over 50 years probably in the business. Al Snow probably over 40 or long, something like that. So just so much knowledge and experience. He's been all over the world. He's done it all. Wrestled everywhere. So you just got to soak it in, man. And he's incredible, man. Like you said, just very articulate, and he knows how to, break it down every little thing. So, and he's very hard to please. So, but that's a good thing because you got to get better, and you got to, iron sharpens iron. So he's a little bit more tough love, like I said, than Ricky, but I love it, man, because I respond well to that too. So, and he's always honest, and he'll give it to you. He's a straight shooter. He is a shooter and a hooker, so he's not gonna let you slide on nothing. He's gonna tell you how it is every time. And he just wants us to get better. And he's always says, like, if you're successful, that makes me successful, and I want to be successful. So you got to be successful. You know what I mean? So, but I love it, man. I love being in part of OVW, and it's just I feel like I'm getting better every day and just growing so much since I've been here. So it's incredible, man. Al Snow's the snowman. He's good. He's real good.
And we have to talk about the gimmick. So I mentioned off camera, like I discovered, obviously, I know OVW. I mentioned previous, the likes of Orton, Batista, Lesnar, Cena, they've all come through OVW. And I was going through YouTube, and I heard that OVW was about and Al Snow was running things, but I didn't know where to find it. Then I realized, oh, they've got a YouTube channel, and I'm watching it, and I'm enjoying what I'm watching. Then all of a sudden, you popped up, and I'm like, right, this guy stood out for me straight away. It's kind of like when I was watching NWA Power, and I saw Sicky Dice. You just stood out. And when I watched you, this was the other week when you had the neck brace on, you had the and,
that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So before we get into your angle with Omar Amir, which is a great angle, before we get into that, I want to talk about your character, your gimmick. It's to me, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. To me, it's a throwback to Rick Rude, but with a modern twist. And Rick Rude, he's in my top 5 heels of all time, if not my top 10 wrestlers of all time. Loved him. Yeah. So is that how it come about with you? And you was like, oh, I can tweak it this way, sort of thing. So tell us the story.
So you're absolutely right. It's definitely a throwback and homage to, Rick Rude and maybe a couple other guys. It's almost like all my favorite wrestlers just combined into one guy. And I'm kind of venturing out and doing different things now. So, trying different things, just trying to add to it, but and put my own spin on it. Because I just don't want to just straight copy, but yeah, definitely a homage. But how it came about was, I told you at School of Morton, James Strange, he told me write down a list of names that you want to do. So I wrote down all these names, and there was nobody really at the school doing like the ladies' man, sexy guy gimmick. So I was like, I guess I can do that, and he picked Luscious Lawrence. That's the name that he picked, and I've been like rolling with it ever since. And And like you said, just, it started off very like poor and like, just like nothing. I had to like borrow gear for my first match and stuff, and just developed until I just keep adding to it. And like now I'm painting my nails. You can see that. So just, just doing weird stuff and buying women's clothes and leggings. And, it started off as kind of like a sexy man gimmick. And now it's more kind of ambiguous and just having fun with it and just trying to, push the envelope a little bit more and, shock people, I guess. And I like doing that. It's fun. But yeah, so just a combination of Rick Rude, I love Hollywood Hogan. He was like one of my favorite wrestlers too. Hulk Hogan and Hollywood Hogan, and just, kind of adding in that, what was his name? Adrian Street, that kind of vibe. So just, just adding to it and picking different things that I like. So, yeah.
And you've also got the side pieces, Dylan McQueen and Haley J. So how did that come about, pairing up with them? Did they come through Skull and Morton, or did you meet them at OVW?
So first I had another, I'll mention him because he was I liked his gimmick too. Mirror Boy was my first manager. So his name just Mirror Boy. He was kind of like my slave. I could beat on him and treat him like crap and stuff. So that was pretty fun. But then when I came to OVW, I was kind of on my own. And then Dylan McQueen I met in Knoxville. So he trained with Dr. Tom, and he went to Dr. Tom and Kane School. So that's a really good school. They got some people coming out of there, like Kenzie Page. She's been on AEW and stuff, like Dark and stuff. So she's really good. And then Haley, I met here at OVW. So she had some matches, and I was just like, hey, you want to be part of this? And she said, yeah, of course, because who wouldn't want to be with me? So. No, I'm just but yeah, so I just reached out because Dylan McQueen, he managed me a couple independent shows in Knoxville and stuff. So and we always had good chemistry, and we kind of really feed off each other a lot. Our energy is good, like we said, the chemistry's there, and he's got good, psychology. He's very entertaining and flamboyant, and he definitely adds to my character. So I like that. And Haley, she's a character too, so she's very ghetto and bougie or whatever. So she's fun. We just try to have fun and feed off each other, and it works.
It comes across like that when I'm watching it, and we'll get into your feud now. Your big program with Omar and Mia, and like I said, I discovered OVW a few weeks back. Straight away, I'm watching it, and then also you stood out. You got the neck brace on, the crutches. And talking about America, then Omar came out with his grandfather's war medals. You attacked him from behind.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love old school wrestling with a modern twist, and that's, to me, it's just an old school storyline done right. And you had the match afterwards. You defeated him, got the war medals, and then the highlight was last week, the fashion show.
I won fair and square too, man. Fair and square, right in the center of the ring.
And then the following week, you had the fashion show. I absolutely loved it, and it was just so cheesy but so good, and absolutely loved that. And especially when Omar's chasing Dylan around the ring, and Dylan's just squealing. It was hysterical. And then this past week, you had the big 5-on-5 tag match, which you had a really good show, and especially with Pillman Jr. Like your exchange between you two was really good. And then you and Omar went to the crowd. So, and now obviously you've got your big match this weekend at Christmas Chaos, which this interview will be going out afterwards. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So your feud with Omar, how do you feel about the work you have done, and how much are you looking forward to this weekend?
Man, it's been a lot of fun. I can't really take the credit. I don't write the show or book it, but I just try to, whatever they give me, I just try to have fun with, and it's been a lot of fun, man. Omar is, he's a tough guy, so we'll have a good match. It's supposed to be a boot camp match, but I'm calling it a booty camp match. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun, man. what else can I say about it? I mean, every part of it, from the neck brace and all that stuff, and just attacking them from behind and the war medals. It's just like you said, it's just an old school storyline done right, and I love that because I love the Memphis style and all those kind of storylines where you have fun and the heel is just healing it up all the time. So it's been great, man. It's been a lot of fun. I don't really know what else to say about it. I'm just excited about the match for tomorrow. Trying to get some ideas together. Probably gonna watch that Pat Patterson and Sergeant Slaughter match. And try to do some homage stuff for Pat since he's known for that boot camp match. So we'll see how it all goes down. But I'm pretty sure I'll come out on top.
Awesome. This is basically the big event for 2020 for you. So in 2021, I can imagine your target will be winning that heavyweight title. So, or even the national title. So is that the next step for Luscious Lawrence in 2021? Some gold around the waist?
That's always the goal, man. Got to get some, checks and championships. That's what it's all about. Stealing from Booker T there. But I've been down to his school too one time. I met Booker. But yeah, man, that's definitely the goal. Just keep working hard. I got on my scholarship. I have 1 year left for OVW, but I'll probably stick around and see how things go. But that's definitely on the list, man. Get some gold around his luscious waist because I know that's what the people want, and that's what I want. So we got to make it happen. But yeah, I'm definitely going after that national title. So I can represent OVW all around the nation and possibly the world. So we got some fans over there in England.
I know the UK definitely wants Luscious Lawrence over here, so make sure you bring that national title over this way.
Yeah, we'll do it, man. We definitely do it.
Cool, Lawrence. So we're down to the last segment of the show. So it's called that 90s Wrestling Podcast. So me and you have the similar age, so I can imagine we've got the same sort of taste in wrestling and 90s pop culture. So I'm going to ask you some based questions, and you're going to answer them, and we'll see how we get on.
Okay, let's get it on.
Cool. So the first one, your favorite 90s movie?
Ooh, I'll have to say the first one that just popped up in my head was Desperado with Antonio Banderas. Oh. For some reason, when I was like 10 years old, I watched that movie every day. Probably because I had a crush on Selma Hayek.
Didn't we all?
Probably shouldn't have been watching that movie, but that's just the one that popped up in my head, man. So I'm gonna go with that one. Desperado, Antonio. I used to want to be him so bad in that movie. So that's why I got the long hair. So
cool. Your favorite 90s TV show?
90s TV show. Let's see. Power Rangers. I was a real big Power Ranger mark when I was little. Yeah, we'll go Power Rangers for sure.
My eldest son, he's 7 now. He just turned 7 the other week, and he loves Mighty Morphin. And last year we went to like a Comic-Con, and we met Jason David Frank, Tommy the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
I think I was more excited than my son.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Get me a picture of him, and I've got a big smile on my face.
Cool. Oh yeah, so when at Christmas I got the whole big Megazord where you put it together, and
cool.
Yeah, and I still got it. It's out there in the closet there. So my wife, she's like, "Why don't you get rid of this stuff?" I'm like, "No, we're never gonna get rid of this. Hell no."
Cool. I don't know if you're much of a video game player, but what was your favorite 90s video game?
From the 90s? Oh, definitely WrestleMania 2000. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I got to go with that one. Either that one or like Revenge on 64. Yeah.
You end up. I spent so many hours on that game. I really did.
Yeah.
Cool. I've actually just got I've got like a emulator, and it's got like a Super Nintendo, a Sega, N64.
Yeah. I've seen those. And
playing like SmackDown 2, for example, and I'm spending hours just playing this game 3 times, so it's actually pretty fun just playing these old games. Cool.
Yeah. So I got my original 64, man, from when I got it for Christmas. So I got my original one. Yeah, I take care of my toys, man.
Cool. I wish I still had mine. My mother chucked them all out when I was a kid. So
man.
Cool. So we'll move it back to the wrestling. So your favorite 90s wrestler? This is going to be a toughie.
Gotta go Hollywood Hogan, man.
Yeah.
Hollywood, baby. I loved it, man. I would run home from school, we'll be playing outside. Once 7 o'clock hit, we run home, watch, Nitro. I'm a big WCW guy, so I love WCW, man. That was my stuff growing up. So I got to go Hollywood Hogan, man.
Awesome. And your favorite 90s tag team?
Ooh, 90s tag team. I didn't think about that. Let me see. You know what? We're gonna go with Farouk and Bradshaw, man. Just how they just beat the hell out of guys and club them. I love Farouk. You know, he out the mean faces and stuff. Yeah, we'll go with them. What was it? What was their tag? What was their name? I forgot.
They had two, didn't they? They had the Acolytes and then become the APA.
Yeah, the Acolytes and then APA. Yeah, so I like the Acolytes though because they used to have I like them.
So all the tattoos are definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I've always said, Farouk has got one of the most underrated spine busters in the business. Just pick him up and just bang, and it was like, what if someone needs to pick that? Hey, that could be.
Yeah, he did. He didn't. When he did his, he didn't even bump with them. He would just throw their ass down.
Well, we might be seeing that from you tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah.
Go. And last one, and this is the hardest one. Your favorite 90s match?
90s match. You know what? The one it kind of popped out in my head. Probably, I think that was in the 90s. Chris Benoit and Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was like one of the Bash of the Beaches, I think, or Great American, something like that. I think it was either that or when they were feuding. Just I'm not sure exactly which match it was, but I just remember I was like, wow, because they were laying it in and it was looking really stiff, man. And you could believe those guys.
Is that the one when they went all backstage and stuff?
Yes. When they were just beating the hell out of each other, man.
Well, I think the reason for that was when Benoit stole Kevin. So probably why.
It might have been a little. I don't think it was a shoot because those guys are professional and stuff, and we all know the story about that. And I still like Chris Benoit. He was a good wrestler, man. You got to give him that. So, but yeah, that match was it definitely stood out in my head, and it always does. So,
yeah, I've just released the interview today. I recently spoke to Elijah Burke, and he actually wrestled Chris Benoit's last ever match before the tragedy in ECW. Wow. And I asked him, I said, you've probably answered this. I said, was there anything off about him, like when you wrestled him? And he said to me, he said, no, James, said, completely normal. He said, the only thing he said to me, he's like, tell me what to do, like when he was in the ring. But he said, that's kind of normal. He said, that's something you hear. But he said, besides that, like all my interactions with him, he said, it's just, he's just a regular guy. You wouldn't have thought he would do what he did. And like, I'm in the same mindset, Lawrence. I can still watch his matches and things like that and appreciate his matches. Because obviously that will happen before what he done. But so I can appreciate all that, but I'm not going to be the first person to say, oh, I should be in the Hall of Fame, because I wouldn't do that. But because that legacy is fantastic, but I can still watch his matches, no problem. But during his time in the ring, second to none. Like some of the matches he put on, and like that one you mentioned, Kevin Sullivan, top-notch stuff. So
very, very intense stuff, man. So I mean, it's a sad story, but he was definitely one of my favorites growing up as a kid. So that was just sad situation, man. But he's definitely one you can look to for if you want to have an intense match.
Yeah. Cool. So that's the end of us, Lawrence. So before we sign off, do you want to tell everyone where they can find you on their social media?
Yeah, man, I'm on the Twitter at the Luscious Baby. Instagram is Luscious_Lawrence. I got Facebook too, Luscious Lawrence. You can find me on all the OVW pages too, ovwrestling.com. That's the pay-per-view. If you want to get the pay-per-view for tomorrow, ovwrestling.com. Use promo code Luscious, save 20% off. What else is there? Oh yeah, I got a YouTube too. If you wanna, you could just type in Luscious Lawrence and hopefully some stuff will pop up. You can Google me. I got some stuff on there.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Cool. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, Lawrence. Like I said, discovered you very recently, but once I did, took the deep dive, went down that rabbit hole and was like, right, he's done this, he's done that, he's had this match, he's had that match. And yeah, like I said, was watching OVW and straight away you popped out to me. And I think I actually tagged you in the picture. I was like, yeah, this guy's a star. And I'm pretty confident of that. So I'm looking forward to this weekend and like what's to come afterwards. So I'm seeing big things in your future, definitely.
Thank you, man. It was a pleasure and honor. I definitely enjoyed this, man. And I definitely thank you for taking the time out and reaching out to me, man. It was a blast. So we'll just keep the train moving, man. That luscious train keep going. So thank you, guys.
Cool. Thank you very much. And we'll do it again.
Awesome, man.